Good morning. Happy Monday to you. Welcome back to 4 More Minutes. I am Sam Bailey, the Soul Stir, stirring up your hearts and your minds for God. I hope that you had a fabulous weekend. And if it was not a good weekend, maybe you can start this week off on the right note by hearing this inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. If you have not done so, please subscribe to the Soul Stir on YouTube and share it with about 40 people today. And I pray that this message gets out there as we just attempt to put some inspiration, encouragement, and motivation out into the world. And I really thank you. If you have not got a chance, go back and check out my message from last night about knowing how to. This is on YouTube, knowing how to use what God has given you for a greater purpose. And I think it can go a long way. Today is 4 maybe more minutes, maybe a little more than normal, because I got to say something about what happened last night on the Academy Awards. And I want to put it in a spiritual context. You know, people write a lot of different things, and I know social media has given voice to everybody to speak their opinion. And I think we've lost in this country the ability to have civil discourse, right? We can agree to disagree. And the human nature is complex, right? There's no black and white sometimes with what causes things to do. But I'm gonna try to put a spiritual perspective in what we saw, not just somebody slapped somebody or somebody got mad at somebody or something like that. I think it's tough because we teach our children, when people speak words to you, use your words back, control yourself. We teach people to be respectful and say things and be mindful of people and their conditions. It's tough. We see a comedian who's paid to tell jokes, who many people laughed at for years. And I think about how many years you've sat there and heard comedians go in on people. They go in everything for their clothes, from their situations, from their lives, and that's just what happens. You'll hear me talk about occupational hazards. When your life is lived out in the public eye, you often have to deal with people talking about you publicly. That's why I'm an advocate for living a private life on things. And I think social media tends to bring a lot of our private thoughts and private things that happen in our lives publicly. And anytime you post something on Facebook, whether you write it down or a video or anything you do, you got to expect that somebody's going to be able to comment because you've made it public. I think that's why we got to try to keep it private. I believe that throughout the years, I've heard many of our great comedians that I love say some things that were insensitive, and people laugh at them. Maybe some of you laugh at some stuff that's not really funny. Sometimes we've been guilty of it. Sometimes we haven't. With that being said, I think that even with that being said, the response, I think, did not warrant that from Will Smith. And I know people say he defended his wife and defended her honor. I don't know. Maybe there are other ways. Maybe he could have gotten up and talked about her condition. That's how he could have defended her. Maybe he could have responded with dignity and class. I'm thinking about Jesus, and Jesus said, if somebody hits you on the right cheek, turn the left. I think that's in even the face of physical contact, which I think Chris Rock displayed a lot of restraint, because had he gone after him, or it could have been even worse than what it was, even though he initiated the joke. I think as a Christian or someone who of a faith, we've got to learn. I think the lesson is learn. We're going to get insulted. I preach about this all the time. People are going to insult you with your words, and you got to decide whether or not you're going to be the bigger person. And I know a lot of people talk about what Denzel said: the devil will come to you at your highest moment. But I think the devil will come to you a lot of times at your lowest point. When I saw a man giving his acceptance speech, I saw a broken man, a man in tears, and it just played out publicly. I think the devil comes to you at your most vulnerable point, at your lowest point, and he exposes the fact that you're hurt and you're broken, and then you begin to take things out on the wrong person, at the wrong people. And I think also you see there's a lot of things you can talk about: spirit of entitlement. To think you can go up and literally on national TV slap another man in the face and nothing happened to you. He could have had charges pressed against him. You ruin your reputation. You upstage a moment for the Williams sisters and their fathers and his story, even for his culture and for his people, how long it's taken to get to that place, because you could not handle words. And so I think it's so important to be able to handle words, but it's important to be mindful of the words that we speak, how words can be hurtful and words can cause harm. So in a situation like that, nobody wins. I think we learn that a few things: to keep our lives private, and if we don't want it analyzed, scrutinized, criticized, keep it out of the public sphere. Number two, we learn that people can be cruel, people can say hurtful things, people can say inappropriate things, people can use bad jokes, bad timing, bad words to harm us, and they don't realize the consequences of the magnitude of that. You know, I was thinking about Will Smith's speech was talking about love and love defend, but love, as Dr. King would say, turns the other cheek. Love is not violent. Love is peaceful. You talk about love after slapping another man in the face. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with Chris Rock publicly coming after the lady in her condition. But all those who are so strong on Jada's condition, what do you say about the other host who was being over sexualized? Just her first role over there being over sexualized. It's all hypocrisy. And I think we've got to get back to staying with what the truth is. Everybody has opinion, but what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong, and nobody wins. Nobody won. Chris Rock looked bad because even he was ignorant or he didn't care. Number two, some people got to realize that people have been made fun of for a lot of things and for worse, and they've taken it. So I can't justify or excuse Will or his condition. There are better ways to defend your wife and defend her honor. Do it with intelligence, do it with class, do it with words. As we tell kids, use your words. And then you're not embarrassment to yourself and to others. And so nobody wins. Jada doesn't win. Will doesn't win. Chris Rock doesn't win. The Academy doesn't win. Black people don't win. Nobody wins in that situation. So I pray to God that we learn the lessons of it, that the enemy is true. The enemy is there to uproot us, to take us out, to make us act out of our character. And somebody says he jumped in him in that moment. No, he was already there. It was boiling over. That's why I've been saying guard your heart, because out of it comes your issues. And if you don't deal with your issues and what you got to deal with, it's going to play out in the public sphere. And the lesson to me is you've got to, in the face of insults, you've got to continue to demonstrate self-control, no matter what. And no matter those, some say, no, he had a right just for I do it. That's not my perspective. What would you done in that moment? I don't know what I would have done, but I think there are choices, and we've been having some very lively discussions, even with my kids and with others. But nobody wins, and so I pray that we can learn the lessons. God is teaching us everywhere. Learn the lessons, that be careful what we say to others and be mindful of the words that come out of our mouths, but also guard our hearts and be ready to handle insults with dignity and class and grace, and realize that words are just that. You know, the very things I always preach to our kids and our children, and things about insulting people, as well as things about violence and acting out physically against somebody. We have to apply them to ourselves. We got to always be examples. Somebody say, I got to take the high road. Yes, if you are a person of character and integrity, you got to. And you can't be a part of a movement being nonviolent, and you can't make a difference in this world by insulting people. So I have so much more to say, but y'all have a great day today. This is about 4 minutes times 2. But hey, it's a current event going in society, and I think we ought to speak about these things and talk about these things. Have a great day. Hey, everybody has an opinion. We are entitled to one, but God is right, and God is calling all of us to grow and to mature and to grow into his image of his son. If you don't know the Lord, if you don't know God, learn of him, and he can totally change your life, and he can change not only what you speak and what you say, but he can change how you handle and deal with what is happening, what has happened to you. So God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Today 9 More Minutes. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.